Hey, adrenaline junkies. Welcome to Police Pursuit. Today we launch a new, fresh series. When People Messed with the Wrong Cops. Every reckless choice flips on instant justice mode. Buckle up. Let's roll right now, folks. Officers were strategically positioned at the westbound entrance near mile marker 216 on Interstate 40 after dispatch issued a BOLO for a red SUV traveling at extremely high speed. Recognizing the potential danger, units quickly set up to intercept the vehicle as it approached the area. Moments later, the red SUV was spotted heading westbound at approximately 100 miles per hour, aggressively passing other vehicles by driving onto the shoulder. The reckless driving forced multiple motorists to take evasive action. Officers immediately activated their lights and sirens and initiated pursuit, but heavy traffic and unsafe shoulder conditions made it difficult to close the distance. The pursuit continued through Lenoke and Pulaski counties until Troop A units identified an opportunity to safely intervene. Near mile marker 152, a pit maneuver was executed with precision, striking the rear quarter of the SUV. The impact caused the vehicle to lose traction, rotate across the roadway, and slide before coming to a complete stop, effectively ending the dangerous pursuit. The driver, identified as Tego Coldero, was taken into custody at the scene. He now faces multiple serious charges, including felony fleeing, aggravated assault, and driving under the influence of drugs. ICE also placed a hold on him for further proceedings. The incident highlights both the risks of high-speed pursuits and the importance of timing and control when executing intervention tactics. The precise use of inertia and contact point is key. When the SUV was traveling at 100 miles per hour, the force from the police vehicle hitting the rear quarter caused the SUV's rear wheels to lose traction, generating a spin and slide along a straight trajectory. Could factors like speed, vehicle weight, and road friction be simulated in advance to optimize the pit maneuver and minimize risk to the greatest extent? Arkansas State Police Agent Caleb Dobbins assisted in a pursuit involving a stolen Toyota RAV4 on a busy roadway, where the suspect aggressively weaved through tight gaps in traffic, cutting off vehicles and accelerating whenever space opened. Brake lights flashed constantly as surrounding drivers were forced to react to avoid collisions. During the pursuit, the RAV4 made sudden lane changes, at times riding the edge of the roadway before cutting back across traffic to maintain speed. Troopers behind maintained a controlled formation, applying pressure while keeping the situation from escalating further in the dense traffic. When an opening appeared, Agent Dobbins moved in from a slight rear offset and delivered a precise pit maneuver to the rear quarter. The impact sent the SUV's rear sliding out, causing it to spin and drift toward the shoulder, where units quickly closed in and boxed it in from all sides. As soon as the vehicle stopped, the suspect was surrounded, pulled from the car, and taken into custody within seconds, ending the pursuit decisively. This incident highlights how quickly reckless decisions can escalate into danger, but also how coordinated tactics and a well-timed pit maneuver can bring a pursuit to a safe and controlled end. The two pit maneuvers, executed precisely on the rear quarter of the vehicle, caused the Mustang to lose traction, spin, and come to a complete stop, preventing any further escape. This incident highlights the skillful judgment, use of inertia, and precise impact placement of the troopers, while also raising the question, could factors such as speed, vehicle weight, and road friction be simulated in advance to optimize pit maneuvers and minimize risk to all parties involved? On the evening of February 18th, 2026, shortly after 9 p.m., a San Diego County Sheriff's deputy assigned to the San Marcos station conducted a traffic stop on a red Hyundai Sonata on North Twin Oaks Valley Road for a vehicle violation. The vehicle was occupied by a 21-year-old female driver and a 33-year-old male passenger, later identified as Andre Rafael Mendez. A records check revealed inconsistencies with the license plate and VIN, and visible damage to the steering column raised suspicion the vehicle was stolen, prompting the deputy to request backup. As additional units arrived, Mendez suddenly rolled up the window, ignored commands, and reached down to retrieve a semi-automatic handgun. While deputies safely removed the female driver, Mendez continued to refuse commands and began raising the weapon. Three deputies deployed tasers, but they were ineffective, and Mendez fired 2 rounds from inside the vehicle. Facing an immediate threat, 5 deputies and 1 reserve officer returned fire, striking Mendez. He was removed from the vehicle and given life-saving aid, but did not survive. The incident demonstrates how quickly a routine traffic stop can escalate into a critical situation requiring decisive action to protect lives. On July 4th, 2025, in Kershaw County, a trooper observed a white Acura following too closely on Interstate 20 near mile marker 102 westbound. When emergency lights and sirens were activated, the driver, later identified as Latoya Consader, refused to stop and accelerated away, escalating the situation into a high-speed pursuit reaching speeds of over 110 miles per hour. Each time the trooper pulled alongside to clearly identify law enforcement presence, the driver made defiant gestures before speeding off again. Tire deflation devices were deployed but proved ineffective. As the pursuit continued into Richland County, additional units coordinated a rolling roadblock in an attempt to stop the vehicle. During this maneuver, the suspect repeatedly swerved and made contact with patrol vehicles. During a subsequent close approach, a collision caused the Acura to lose control, spin sideways, strike the median barrier, and bounce back across several lanes before finally coming to a stop. Officers quickly secured the scene, blocked the driver's door, and deployed a less lethal device. Kanzader was taken into custody without further resistance. Due to a laceration sustained in the crash, she was transported for medical treatment before being booked into the Kershaw County Detention Center. She now faces multiple charges, including following too closely, failure to wear a seatbelt, registration violations, operating an uninsured vehicle, and failure to stop for law enforcement. The trooper was not injured, and the patrol vehicle sustained only minor front bumper damage. On June 3, 2022, a trooper received a low jack alert for a stolen Ford Mustang near Virginia Avenue in Hapeville. The vehicle was quickly located, but when emergency lights were activated to initiate a stop, the driver refused to comply and accelerated, prompting a coordinated pursuit involving both ground units and aerial support. During the pursuit, the suspect drove recklessly at high speeds through multiple streets and intersections, disregarding traffic signals in an attempt to evade capture. Despite the dangerous conditions, troopers maintained constant radio communication, preserved a controlled formation, and gradually closed the distance while prioritizing public safety. The pursuit came to an end on North Inner Loop Road when officers executed two controlled pit maneuvers. The precise contact to the rear quarter of the Mustang caused the vehicle to lose traction, rotate, and become disabled on the roadway, preventing any further escape. As soon as the vehicle stopped, officers quickly moved in, secured the scene, and took the driver into custody. The suspect was identified as Dexter Lamar Williams and was handcuffed at the scene without further incident. This incident highlights the discipline, coordination, and decisiveness of law enforcement in high-risk situations. It also serves as a clear reminder that fleeing from police only increases the danger, while the outcome almost always ends in arrest and far more serious consequences. On January 20th, 2020, law enforcement officers attempted to stop a vehicle due to a suspended registration. As soon as emergency lights and sirens were activated, the driver refused to comply and instead accelerated away, initiating a high-speed pursuit. During the escape, the vehicle sped aggressively, weaving through multiple lanes and ignoring all commands to stop. The driver made several abrupt maneuvers in an attempt to evade pursuing units, creating a dangerous situation for surrounding motorists. The pursuit continued across multiple roadways at high speeds with several close calls. As the vehicle entered a curve, officers seized the opportunity to deploy a pit maneuver. The patrol unit made contact with the rear quarter of the suspect's vehicle, causing the rear to lose traction and rotate sideways across the roadway, effectively disabling the vehicle and bringing the pursuit to an end. Immediately after stopping, the suspect exited the vehicle and fled on foot, leaving his girlfriend behind in the car where she was detained without incident. A K-9 unit was deployed and successfully tracked the suspect through the surrounding area, leading officers to his hiding location. He was taken into custody and transported to the Bullock County Jail. This incident demonstrates how a minor violation can quickly escalate into a dangerous situation when a driver chooses to flee, resulting in significantly more serious consequences. Conversely, it is the officer's composure and coordinated tactical execution that serve as the key factors in controlling the situation, minimizing risk, and bringing the pursuit to a safe conclusion. the aviation unit of the Michigan State Police, Trooper 3, spotted a suspect who had just carjacked a vehicle in Dearborn and then stole a black Dodge Durango while fleeing on foot. The helicopter quickly locked onto the SUV from above, continuously relaying its position as it sped through the 7-mile road area at high speed without headlights. Ground troopers quickly moved into position. When emergency lights and sirens were activated, the Durango did not slow down and instead accelerated away, racing onto I-75 Service Drive before merging onto Interstate 75 and the Davison Freeway. Speeds at times exceeded 120 miles per hour in a 55-mile-per-hour zone, with the driver weaving through traffic, running red lights, and using every gap to escape. Because it was unclear whether the suspect was armed following the carjacking, pursuing units kept their distance and waited for a safer opportunity to intervene. That opportunity came when the vehicle exited Interstate 96 onto Grand River Avenue, where traffic slowed the SUV to under 40 miles per hour. A trooper closed in, carefully aligned the patrol vehicle, and executed a decisive PIT maneuver on the rear quarter of the Durango. The impact caused the SUV to spin sideways, lose traction, slide off the roadway, and crash into an abandoned building, completely disabling the vehicle. The suspect immediately fled on foot, and even attempted to open the door of another vehicle to continue escaping. However, troopers along with officers from the Detroit Police Department quickly chased him down and took him into custody. The high-speed pursuit across multiple freeways ended there, with the stolen vehicle disabled and the suspect under arrest. On March 10, 2021, law enforcement officers spotted a white pickup truck without a license plate near Highway 81 and attempted to initiate a traffic stop. The driver, Tyler Edward McDonald, refused to comply and immediately accelerated, triggering a dangerous pursuit. During the chase, the vehicle reached speeds of up to 100 miles per hour, drove into oncoming lanes, ran red lights and stop signs, and weaved through traffic, posing a serious threat to public safety. Officers maintained close pursuit while looking for an opportunity to safely end the situation. Multiple pit maneuvers were attempted to disable the vehicle, but the driver continued to accelerate and maintain control. On the second successful attempt near Shiloh Road, officers delivered a precise pit to the rear quarter, causing the vehicle to lose control, spin violently, and flip upside down in the roadway before sliding to a stop. Officers quickly secured the scene, forced entry into the vehicle, and removed the driver, who was then subdued, medically evaluated, and taken into custody. McDonald was charged with multiple offenses, including no license plate, no insurance, driving with a suspended license, fleeing and eluding, speeding, and reckless driving. He was treated by EMS at the scene, transported to Piedmont Walton Hospital, and later booked into Walton County Jail, bringing the incident to a close. At approximately 8:52 p.m. on January 7th, 2022, a trooper with the Florida Highway Patrol received a report of a reckless driver traveling on Interstate 75 near State Road 54. The vehicle had reportedly struck a semi-truck earlier and fled the scene. A short time later, the trooper spotted a 2008 Infiniti sedan in the parking lot of Ulta Beauty and activated emergency lights and siren to initiate a traffic stop. As the trooper approached, the driver suddenly accelerated, racing through the parking lot and fleeing the scene. The trooper immediately gave chase as the vehicle entered Wesley Chapel Boulevard, driving aggressively and ignoring traffic signals. The situation escalated moments later when the Infiniti ran a red light at the intersection with State Road 56 and was struck by another vehicle traveling through the intersection. Despite the collision, the suspect continued fleeing and even drove against traffic in the eastbound lanes of SR 56. Seeing the growing danger to the public, the trooper waited for the right moment as the driver attempted to turn around and then executed a pit maneuver, causing the vehicle to lose control and come to a complete stop. Both occupants were quickly detained at the scene. A search of the vehicle revealed dozens of stolen perfume bottles connected to a previous theft in Marion County. The driver, Dijah Zenai Washington Alston, 24 of Seffner, was arrested and transported to Pasco County Jail. The passenger, Trakeria Nicole Nicholson, 25 of Tampa, was later turned over to the Ocala Police Department in connection with the earlier theft. While on patrol, a trooper heard Kent County Dispatch broadcast reports of multiple attempted robberies at cell phone stores, all involving the same vehicle. The description immediately stood out because it had previously been linked to an armed robbery at a Boost mobile store in Grand Rapids on November 16, 2020. Shortly afterward, the trooper spotted a vehicle matching the description traveling along Lake Michigan Drive and activated emergency lights and sirens to initiate a stop. Instead of yielding, the driver accelerated away, triggering a brief but tense pursuit. As the vehicle continued through the area near Sibley Street, the trooper closed the distance and executed a decisive pit maneuver. The impact caused the vehicle to spin sideways, lose control, and slide to a stop in the roadway, bringing the pursuit to an immediate end. The occupants jumped out and attempted to flee on foot, but officers quickly moved in. With assistance from deputies from the Kent County Sheriff's Office and officers from the Grand Rapids Police Department, a perimeter was established and all suspects were taken into custody at the scene. A search of the vehicle and suspects was conducted to gather evidence related to the string of robberies. The chase came to a swift end, delivering a clear message that reckless attempts to flee from law enforcement will ultimately lead to serious legal consequences.